Alright, Shalom. All praises be unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and the bishop elders at Great Millstone, who were well and who taught us this truth. And salutations unto the Arkim, who continue to push the word in truth and in sincerity. And this is in light of the confusion that's being pushed right now, that to say that the Father and the Son are one and the same, which is demonic, and the furthest thing from biblical truth, man. Okay. The Trinity doctrine is not scriptural, it's not biblical. It's in fact something that's been adopted by the church, which has very much pagan roots. Pretty much, man, if you can't see, or if you teach that the Father and the Son are one and the same entity, you have absolutely no understanding of the concept of quote unquote, and I say very loosely, God. Okay, now I found this site here and it says the pagan trinity in history. You've got Nimrod, the sun god, which is the father, Semiramis, the moon goddess, which would represent the mother, and Tammuz, reborn son, is the son. Now you've got it in various rulerships and locations where you have a repetitive recycling of a trinity. Now in Babylon you had Belzos, Ishtar, and Tammuz. In Egypt you had Ra, Isis, and Horus. In Assyria you had Ninus, Beltis, and Hercules. In Lebanon you had Baal, Ashtoreth, and Tammuz. And a lot of these are just the same deities, like recycled. In the Phoenicians you had El, Astarte, and Bacchus. In Greece you had Zeus, Aphrodite, and Dionysus. In Rome you had Jupiter, Diana, Apollo. In Nordic tradition you had Odin, Joro, and Thor. In Hindus you have Vishnu, Chandra, and Krishna. In the Luciferian you have Lucifer, Diana, and the Antichrist, as they say here. In the Catholic you have God the Father, Virgin Mary, and Jesus. Okay, now notice they never said Christian, all the other denominations within Christianity, they only stipulated Catholic. Okay, now that should spark us to go to is it Revelation 19? Revelation chapter 19 and 19, I believe. Is it 19 and 11 maybe? Let's see. Where is it at, man? See something. Yep, Salakia. Revelation 19 and 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Now who's the false prophet? The false prophet is the Roman Catholic Church, man. That's the false prophet. So it makes perfect sense that none other was mentioned. No other denomination was mentioned where it concerns so-called Christianity, it was the Catholics that were mentioned, because all these denominations come out of the Roman Catholic Church. Your Protestant, your Seventh-day Adventist, your Baptist. You even have Seventh-day Baptist. You have Pentecostal, Kojic, Methodist. They all go back to the Roman Catholic Church. Even Islam goes back to the Roman Catholic Church. So Islam is a subdivision of the Catholic Church, just like these other denominations. So they don't need to be mentioned, because it all comes under Catholicism. And when you get into the word Catholicism, it means universal. So this Trinity doctrine is really a Catholic doctrine which has been incorporated and heavily influenced from various paganistic influences from time periods prior, okay, and mythology and belief systems of other people, the Greeks, the Nordics, the Assyrians, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, okay. So that's just a brief thing on that. Now, what I'm going to do is, here we have Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4. Okay, and it says here in the English, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord," I'll read it as it's written, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord." Now, to say that, to submit the nonsense that the Messiah, Yahushua, and the Father, Yahweh, are one and the same, what it shows a multiple of things, and one of the things that is that the individual that teaches or pushes that has a lack of understanding of Hebrew. Okay, a lot of people don't like to get into the Hebrew, but it's a part of the doctrine. Okay, our language is heavily a part of our customs, man. So if you have no understanding of it, you're just not going to get the doctrine straight. Now in Hebrew, it would be Shammai Yasha Allah, Yahweh Al-Chayanawa, Yahweh Echad. Okay. Now let me click on this, and it's got the brother made this site. It's brilliant, man. It's got the Paleo Hebrew, the original manuscript writing, and it's got like the Assyrian script beneath it on the right of the screen, and it breaks down word for word, man. And the word here for here is Shammai. Okay, Shammai. So it's to be obedient, to listen, to give attention, to discern. Okay. So it's not just about audible sound, it could be that on a base level, but deeper than that yet, it's actually speaking about contemplating, considering, attentively listening to the call. So Shammai, listen up. Yasharala. Okay, now it says here, the Lord, and as you can see on the right of the screen, in the Paleo Hebrew there, and right underneath it's got the Assyrian script, the name of the Father, man. Okay, it's got the name of the Father, Yahweh. He exists, or he to be, man. The self-existent, the eternal. Okay, he exists. Yah, he, Hawa, exists or to be. He to be, he exists, man. That's the name of the Father, Yahweh. So we're saying, "Hear, O Israel, Yahweh." Okay. Now it says our God, which in the Hebrew is Allah, means power, but Al-Chaya Nawa means our God, which really means our power. Okay. Our power, man. Our sovereign, our power. So the sovereign, the ruler, the power is Yahweh. Okay? Echad, which means one, a numerical. Alright? Meaning one. Alone. Okay? You know? The first, alone, once, one, only. Okay? And this is the most this is the Shema, man. Okay? You know, we had the Passover not too long ago. That's one of the prayers, you know, that we put up there together. You know, and guess what? This is something, when you keep reading in Deuteronomy, this is something that was said in the morning, in the noon, and before night, before you go to bed, man. To be continually drilled in the minds of Israelites, man. Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. That was said over and over again, man. But there's no mention of nobody else. So the Shema lets us know that Yahweh is the one and only, man. Okay? There's no mention of another person, another spirit, man. So where it concerns the Most High, that's one individual. That's one person. And that's Yahweh. Okay? But you see, the demonic pagan influence is that they want to interfere with that and incorporate these heathenistic customs of false deities, man. God the Father, Virgin Mary, and Jesus. And other denominations that don't really big up Mary like that, they'll try and throw the Holy Spirit in there as if it's three different compartments, but all at the same time, the same thing. It doesn't make sense. We went to the word Echad in Hebrew, Echad, which means the first or one, singular, man. You know, alone. So you can't have three things that are the same entity. Now you can have multiple things that are in one agreement. Is the Father in agreement with the Son, and is the Son in agreement with the Father, and is the Spirit in agreement with the Father and the Son? Yes. But there's still separate entities. Just because you're in agreement with something doesn't mean you're the same entity. You know? Like you could be with a brother and you're walking down the street and you say, "Your ark is cold, man." You know? He goes, "Yeah, I agree, it's quite cold, it's quite chilly." Does that mean you and him now become the same person? No, you're in agreement on a particular thing, but you're still two separate individuals, man. Okay? So this Trinity thing is demonic, is pagan. And to say that the Son and Yahweh and the Father are the same, man, it's just not. You just don't understand Hebrew, man. Okay. Let me see something. Sit at my right hand. Yeah, Hebrews 1 and 13. But to which of the angels said he at any time, "Sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool"? The Lord never said that to anyone apart from Yahweh Shai. Okay. So how, if they were the same person, if the Father and the Son are the same person, how can he sit, if they're the same entity, how can you sit next to yourself? If I'm in there's a row of chairs and I'm sitting down, but I'm one person, how can I sit next to myself? It's either I'm sitting alone or I'm sitting next to other individuals. That's separate entities to myself. Well, Yahweh Shai is sitting at the right hand of the Father, who is a separate and higher entity than himself. And that's only reserved for Yahweh Shai. No other angel does that. But Yahweh Shai does, because he's the top of the angels. You know, he's the first of creation, the first living. That's in John, we'll go there now. But that proves that they're separate entities, man. Like, what the hell are you people talking about, man? How the fuck can Yahweh Shai and her father be the same person, man? That means when Yahweh Shai was on the cross, who the hell was he praying to, man? Okay? When he cried out, my God, oh my power, Allah ya, Allah ma sabachthani. Who the hell was he crying to? If he was the same as the Father. In fact, let me see where he said, I ascend to my Father and your Father, your God and my God. I ascend, let's see if it will come up. And Yahweh Shai always made reference of the Father, man. So how the hell do you people say that the Lord tried to say he's the same as the Father? This is John 20:17. Yahweh Shai saith unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father. Oh, hold on a second, red flag. If they're the same person, how can you ascend to yourself? But go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and to your Father and to my power and your power. So right there, Yahweh Shai is admitting, not what's like your wrong word. You know, and bear with me, Akim, because I got your yarn inside of me, man. In Vano Veritas, right? You know, it's your word slip or whatever, but, you know, talking the truth is so good. Not admit Yahweh Shai was bearing witness that the Father is in heaven and he currently was on the earth. So again, how can they be the same person? I ascend unto my Father and your Father and to my power and your power. So what the hell are you people talking about, man? You know, they're two separate beings, man. They're two separate beings, bro. Okay? But that's what happens, man. You got demons that pop up with these weird-ass doctrines from time to time, thinking that they're going to get some clout because they've got the new revelation. Nah, man, just shut the fuck up and sit down. Stop talking nonsense, man, because it's just not biblical, bro. This is the book of John, chapter 1:1. In the beginning was a word, and the word was was a power, and the word was with the Most High. See, that's how it should be broken down. And again, you gotta know Hebrew, man. Because the word is Yahweh Shai. And the word was a power. And the word was with the Most High. It was with power. What power was he with? To be with something or someone, they have to be external to you. So that word or that God there was God. It doesn't mean that he was the Father. He was with the Most High, man. Okay. Right? The same was in the beginning with the Most High, with the power. You can't be with yourself, man. If you're in a room by yourself, who you with? I'm with me. That doesn't make sense. You're by yourself, man. So for the fact it says in verse 2, the same was in the beginning with God, as it says there, with the Most High, with Yahweh, means they're separate entities, man. They're separate entities, man. They're not the same, bro. Now, what are you people talking about, man? What are you talking about, man? They're not the same. They're not, man. It's right there. Like, you're not reading it, bro. Like, come on, man. And you could get into Genesis and how it all happened, and the Most High bringing the first spirit and then the Alahayim and the righteous. You could get into all of that, man, but that's just like deeper, like, knowledge on it. But come on, man. Like, there's no point even going that deep if an individual can't even get the fact that, or understand the concept of God, as it were, man. Come on, bro. The concept of God, you're confused on that, man. You're not sure what's going on. Talking about people being the same and all kind of thing, man. Come on, man. That don't even make sense, man. Okay. Let's get John. And I can make this a very long lesson, but I'm not even going to do that, man. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to, make the point and close it out. But we could go extensively and deep into this, man. But I said there's no point. I mean, there's a point to it, but you could go way into something. But if people didn't even get in the surface level, then, come on, man. This is John 17. Right, this is what they get tripped out on. This is John 17, verse 21. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee. And they all also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. Now Yahushua said he's going to be in his elect. He said, I will be in you and you will be in me. So then does that make us Yahushua? Come on, man. I'm not being silly. This is verse 22. And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. As I gave the example, echad, meaning one, in agreement, man. If you agree on something, if you have the same aim, mission, and goal, then you're united. You're one. But it still doesn't mean that you're the same entity. You're separate entities, man. All right. A car has 4 wheels, 1 steering wheel. If it's a manual or stick, you're gonna have the gearbox. You're gonna have the handbrake. You're gonna have the engine. You're gonna have the alternator. You're gonna have the battery. Okay, but all these various components make one car. That when you press the clutch down and you put it into gear, it goes into gear 1, it goes into gear 2, it goes into gear 3. They're all separate pieces of equipment, but they all work together for the same aim and goal, which is to move, to drive forwards, okay, to transport. But it's the same thing. Yahweh and Yahushua have the same aim and goal, but they're two still separate entities, man. Okay. And Yahweh is the originator, and everything comes from him through the Son. But before everything else was created, Yahushua was created of the Father, man. Okay. That's what it is. Like you have a car. What turns the car on? You say the key there. What inside of the engine is the ignition. Okay. That first spark which ignites the engine starts everything going. The electronics come on. The engine comes on. You can make moves. Without the ignition, there's nothing. So the person who holds the key is Yahweh, right? And the ignition wants the key, and the first spark, that first light is Yahweh Shai, which makes everything happen, man. But they work together with one aim and goal, indeed, but they're still separate entities, man. Okay? That they may be one even as we are one, the elect are united, the elect are one. But there's 144,000 men, and then a multitude of men, women, and children that's going to be saved. So that's a lot of it. That's a hell of a lot of individuals, but still considered one. But you don't, just because they're considered one, that doesn't negate the fact that it's separate entities, man. So what it is it's ignorance, man. People don't want to see and accept that the Father and the Son are two separate entities. And like I said, I could keep going, but I'm going to just wrap it up here, make it short, man. But yeah, man, if you teach that the Father and the Son are the same, you have a very limited, or I should say you have no understanding of the concept of God, man. Anyways, with that, I'm out, man.